In a small village outside Accra, lived Kofi with his mother, Auntie Abena, and his two older sisters. The family was poor, but they lived with love. Their house was a simple mud-walled structure, thatched with palm leaves, and had only the basic necessities. The small room was filled with the sounds of Auntie Abena singing softly while preparing dinner. Before Kofi's father passed away, life was different. Papa, as Kofi affectionately called him, worked as a driver for the local company. The family would often gather around a small wooden table to share meals. Kofi's father was kind, hardworking, and always ensured that his children went to bed with full stomachs and dreams in their hearts. One rainy evening, as the wind howled and the clouds roared, he went out for his usual trip. His bus was involved in a fatal crash on the way back from a faraway village. The news devastated the family. Auntie Abena, though devastated by the loss, did her best to keep everything together for the sake of her children. Without Papa's income, Auntie Abena struggled to make ends meet. She took on any work she could find, from washing clothes for the wealthy families in the village to cleaning the streets early in the morning. But even with her tireless efforts, there was never enough. Despite their poverty, Auntie Abena always emphasized the importance of education. No matter how poor we are, knowledge will set you free, she would say to her kids. Go to school, work hard, and one day you will rise above it all. Kofi had always been a bright child. Even when the other kids played, Kofi would sit under the shade of a tree, reading whatever books he could find. His love for learning was unmatched. But going to school was a luxury that his mother couldn't afford. They lived far from the city, and the school fees were out of reach. Kofi and his sisters managed to finish the village primary school, and that was it. Auntie Abena cried herself to sleep, knowing her son's potentials would be wasted. One day, Auntie Abena heard about a new principal, Mr. Boateng, who had recently moved to a nearby town and was offering scholarships to deserving students. Auntie Abena decided to take a chance and visited Mr. Boateng, explaining her situation. I may not have money, but I have a son who has the mind like no other. Please, sir, help me, she begged, and he agreed to meet with Kofi. The boy's intelligence was clear from the moment he spoke. He answered every question with wisdom beyond his years, and Mr. Boateng was moved. I will sponsor your son's education, mother. He deserves the chance to learn, he said. And so Kofi received a scholarship to attend one of the best schools in Accra. For Kofi, this was the opportunity he had always dreamed of. But this new school was a world apart from the life he had known. The other students wore expensive uniforms and shoes, while Kofi had only one set of tattered clothes and shoes with holes in them. It was an intimidating environment for a boy who had never seen such worlds. When Kofi stepped into the school for the first time, he felt out of place. The students in the class stared at him, whispering among themselves. They could tell that he didn't belong, but Kofi was determined. Every day, he walked to school early and he sat in front of the class, absorbing everything with a hunger for knowledge. His scholarship was a symbol of his hard work, and he would not waste it. However, there was one student who couldn't bear to see Kofi succeed. Kwame was the son of the wealthiest family in the town. His father, Mr. Osei, owned several businesses, and Kwame never lacked anything. He was popular, confident, and known for being the best student in the class. Everyone admired him, and he took great pride in being the center of attention. But when Kofi arrived and began outshining him in every subject, Kwame's pride was wounded. Who does this boy think he is? Kwame muttered to his friends. He doesn't belong here. This is a school for the rich, not for some dirty street boy. Kofi stood up in front of the class to introduce himself. My name is Kofi, my father is dead, and I live with my two older sisters and my mother, who is a cleaner. The class fell silent. Some students laughed, while others felt sympathy. Kofi held his head high, his heart pounding in his chest. He wasn't ashamed of his mother or his background. Kwame and his friends began to mock Kofi, calling him cleaner boy and street kid. They would laugh at his worn-out shoes and old clothes, making Kofi feel even more out of place. Kofi, though hurt by their words, remained focused on his studies. He knew that education was his way out, his way to change his family's life. Kwame sneered at him from the back of the class. "Cleaner boy, you don't belong here. This is a school for people like me." Kofi felt a surge of anger, but he held it in. He knew that if he let Kwame get him, he would only be playing into his hands. So he buried his anger and channeled it into his studies. As time went on, Kofi continued to excel. He became the top student, winning awards for his performance. His classmates began to admire him, and some even envied him. But Kwame's jealousy only grew. He couldn't stand being overshadowed by someone he considered inferior. One day, Kofi's mother came to school to visit him. She had come to give him some money he asked for to settle a particular practical. She was wearing her usual work clothes, a simple dress that was faded but clean. As she walked through the school gates, Kwame and his friends started laughing. "Look at her, no wonder he is so poor. Her clothes look like rags," they mocked. Kofi's heart sank as he watched his mother, but she held his hands. "Don't fight back, let him be." Strangely, she couldn't shake off the fact that something felt strange about him. Since there was no clue as to why she felt that way, she let it slide. One day, Kwame started his usual shenanigans. "Cleaner boy, your mother is a cleaner. She wears rags." But this time, Kofi couldn't take it any longer. He turned and punched Kwame in the face. The class gasped. The two boys fought fiercely, tumbling to the ground. But as they struggled, Kofi's shirt tore, and Kwame saw something that made him stop. A birthmark exactly like his was on Kofi's back at the exact same spot he has his. Kwame stepped back, stunned. "What? What is this?" he whispered. Though they look alike, but they've never thought they could be related. Anyone could look alike, so they thought. Both boys stood there, breathing heavily, until the teachers rushed to break up the fight. That evening, Kofi went home, troubled by what he had seen. "Mom," he said, "Kwame, he has the same mark as me, at the same spot. What does that mean?" Auntie Abena looked at her son with wide eyes. "Kofi, I knew there was something strange about that boy. There's this connection, but I can't explain it. The will of God will reveal the truth sooner or later." That evening, Kwame called his parents. "Please, I want to ask you a question, and I want the truth. You've been such an amazing parent to me. Whatever the case may be, I won't get angry. I just want to know the truth. Are you my biological parents?" His parents were stunned, but after a moment of silence, they admitted the truth. "No, Kwame, you were adopted. We couldn't have children of our own. A doctor helped us get you." Kwame's parents then explained how they had struggled with infertility and had adopted him through a doctor who connected them with a woman who had 2 children. "She sold you to us, Kwame. She couldn't take care of you both, so she sold one." Kwame's heart sank. "So I have a twin, and I have been bullying him all this time." The next day, Kwame and Kofi met again, this time in a quiet classroom. "Kofi," Kwame began, "I think we are twins." Kofi stared at him in disbelief, but then Kwame explained everything. They went to Kwame's mother that evening. When she saw Kofi, she couldn't deny the resemblance. "Mom, please, we need to know the truth. We must go to the doctor who facilitated the adoption. He will tell us more about the woman and where she lives now." The doctor, though very ill, provided them with the contact details of the midwife who had sold Kwame. When the midwife saw the woman who she had sold Kwame to, she was shocked. "Did you tell the mother of the child you sold that she had twins? Or you just used the advantage of the fact that she's poor? Did she truly ask you to sell one because she couldn't feed them? Or you did it on your own?" She knew she couldn't deny. Kofi's mother was already there with Kwame's father and some policemen. She confirmed the truth. "Yes, I sold one of the twins. I only told the woman about one child, not 2. The 2 families were shocked. The truth came out, and the midwife was arrested for selling the children without consent of their biological parents. And it was discovered that It was her mom and business. The doctor was also arrested but was later released because he was innocent. He didn't know about the woman's business. He only knew she could connect parents with mothers who wanted to give up their kids for adoption. So he was released. While she was arrested and was sentenced to life imprisonment, Kwame was reunited with his biological family. While his adopted family continued to care for him, Kwame's adopted family helped Auntie Abena, gave her money to start off a business, and removed them from the village. Kwame's adopted family also later had 2 girls. The 2 families came together as one, and they all lived happily. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.